Patrick, you'll be happy to know here, by the way, Reusse Unchained presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk. You can get your Bring Ya Ass SKOR North t-shirts at
Really?
scorenorth.com/shop. Bring Ya Ass shirts,
Really? You beat everybody
scorenorth.com/shop.
else. You beat everybody else to the punch on
I
that
don't know if
one,
we
huh?
beat everyone else, but I think there was.
We're at the finish line. Yeah.
Well, it's a Judd. As a former Star Tribune employee, we had, if we wanted to use damn in a quote, we had to get permission. If we wanted to use, if somebody said, that was a damn good ball game, you had to get, they didn't want anything. Now we're doing stories on Bring Your Ass. We got front page stories on Bring Your Ass. What is the world coming to here?
Come a long way, Pat. They've come a long way there, Star Tribune.
Pretty soon when when Ant turns to Cat and says, stop following. We're going to use the quote, when the MFer, we're going to throw that right in the paper.
The best part of this whole thing is for the second time during a splendid run, like these marketing departments, how much do teams spend on marketing and slogans, right?
Yes,
and all that.
right.
In 2019, it was Rosario who organically said Bomba
Yes,
Squad,
Bomba
right?
Squad, yes.
And now Ant
This, yes.
Ant deserves a raise for this. He now gave them a marketing slogan.
Yes.
And meanwhile, these
For the
corporate
state-
suits.
For the state of Minnesota, I think this started when the governor absconded with it, right, and tried to make it a motto for the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, we definitely had people photoshopping the flag, the new Minnesota State flag, with "Bring Ya Ass" on it.
I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of hardcore Christians that aren't going to be happy about this. That we're using that word so freely in public, but. It's what a beauty. I was just talking to Chips writing a column on him. I was just talking about, I've been at this a long time, and you brought up Eddie Rosario, and he was a no filter guy, but is he the all-time no filter guy that we've had in athletics around here, Ant?
I love it. I mean,
I do too, but he's, it's amazing. It's incredible with he's all time say the first thing that comes into your head and of course the other great thing about it is, as we pointed out, Charles, I haven't been there in 20 years. Well, you were here in 2019 plus for the final four, plus somebody said he was here playing golf a couple of years ago or something. He was in a pro-am someplace here. So he's maybe Charles is getting a little forgetful in his old age. So
yeah, well, he definitely hasn't been there like for a basketball, like an NBA basketball reason in 20 years. But
no, how old is the TNT show? How old is that? Were they even around in 2004?
Well, Inside the NBA launched in the early 90s. Like the Chuck version started in like the early 2000s, maybe like 2000.
Was Chuck here for that Final Four?
He was definitely on. He was on the panel in 2004. Yes.
And we think they're going to lose it, right? TNT, where you think they're going to get outbid for the NBA? Is that what
That's what it looks like?
Boy, that'd be bad. Judd and I talked about this yesterday. I mean, what that show's done for the whole vibe of the NBA for the last 20 years, that's a bad mistake, I think.
But Pat, the incredible thing about Ant that impresses me, well, it's two things. One is I have never seen a better use of the F-bomb dropped in casually. But back to your point, he's dropped MF, he's dropped F-bombs, and really no one said a thing, which is great.
Yeah.
Like ordinarily you could be like, oh, you can't be swearing like that. It's great. I love it.
No, it's he's an endearing, foul-mouthed guy, So he's a young guy, and he just says what's on his mind, and nothing. Even his scandals. He's got some PR guy that'll send out he apologizes for the gay bashing video, and then he apologizes for the $100,000 check from the woman who said he gave her $100,000 to get an abortion. But he just shrugs those off. They don't do anything. They don't slow him down at all, which is, when you're 22 and you got all that money and you're only making half of what you're gonna make is you can, what the heck?
Well,
Why should he have
you
reward?
haven't exactly been quick to jump onto the Anthony Edwards train, I feel like, over the last couple of years. Where are you at right now with Anthony Edwards?
I am very impressed that he started to guard people, and that the last half of the season he really played very well, guard people, and I think his shot. I don't think what bothered me was the when you're in a close game with a minute to go and he gets the ball and he's dribbling it up the left side. He's going to shoot a three, and he wasn't that good a three shooter. That he's going to shoot a 28-footer, and he's not going to look at any of his teammates. But then again, those weren't playoff games either. So he's changed his act a lot. He doesn't get that look in his eye and say, I'm gonna take this 3-pointer and not look at anybody else and miss it, and then they're gonna come down and beat us. So in those close games, that's what bothered me about him more than anything.
He's a very patient player in the playoffs. It feels like he's
Yes.
double team comes and he makes the right play a lot and doesn't get frustrated and try and shoot over it. It's pretty amazing.
I wonder if Dallas will try to do the same thing, double team him all over the place. I mean, Denver really did a great job on him. They ran guys at him, from all directions and hemmed him in something fierce. But he probably halfway through this season he would have panicked when that was happening. But he's matured a lot as a game. I mean, I've always loved his talent. I just thought he did some really empty-headed things on the maybe the golf course too, but the basketball court more. So, wonder what kind of golf. I bet I'd love to play golf with him. I bet he'd have a good mouth when he hit a bad shot.
Oh God.
I got a hunch he's not a golfer though, but well, he's great. The great man of mystery, and I think Judd and I talked about this yesterday too, but I was just talking to Chip about it. Jaden McDaniels. Nobody knows what's going on in there. Do you think? I mean, he doesn't. He's not telling us. I've never. Have you ever read a good profile on him? Have you ever seen a good profile on him?
No, he's a closed book. And then he tried to do a do a dunk contest jam at the end of that game, and Jokic almost took care of things himself. I feel like.
I'm sure Finchie and Nori got him in a room yesterday, and said, "Jaden, no. That big oaf. We're going to be playing that big oaf again next year, and he might remember. You know how it works in baseball. My favorite ever was Nolan Ryan. Remembering that Ricky Henderson and Dave Winfield had both, showboated home runs against him, and he hadn't faced them because he went to the National League. And the All-Star game here, he started the All-Star game. He knocked them both on their ass with fastballs in the All-Star game because of something they'd done 5 years ago in the American League when he had a chance. And I got a hunch the Joker, if he'd pulled off that dunk and people were showing it, I got a hunch the Joker might run over him next year. So.
Yeah, Conley was ticked off too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's
yeah,
like,
I'm sure
no one do something stupid, and then the next thing you know, Jaden's got the ball and he's trying to do a
360
dunk contest.
We forgive Edwards for everything because he's only 22. McDaniels is only 11 months older than he is, 10 or 11 months older than he is.
So we're okay with waving goodbye to the opposing crowd, but throwing down a dunk, that's the line right there. That's
actually that sound bite came out. Joker was more upset about that.
What?
He was more upset that Edwards waved goodbye.
Yes. Goodbye to the crowd. Okay.
Yes. That was his. He's like, why are you doing this? Why are you waving goodbye?
Joker needs to calm down on that.
And Ant's just like,
I think we
screw
might have talked about this, but didn't you think they gave up early, Denver? That they pulled them back with 40 seconds to go. They started 35 seconds. They started walking the ball up. I mean,
it was an 8-point game with 35 seconds.
Yeah, but you got very little chance. But I still think you try to guard them or foul them or do something, right? I don't think you give up that early.
Well,
not an elimination game.
The Wolves did throw the ball away one time, like with
Yes,
50 seconds
right.
to go. So
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, this is. I'm working on a column on Sean Sweeney, the lead assistant, former Cretan Durham Hall teammate of Joe Mauer and Steve Sir and that team, and he's probably going to be a head coach here pretty soon. And he's one of those guys that if you cut his head open, basketballs had come out since he was like a 7-year-old kid. You know, he's a good baseball pitcher too, but he was on that. I was looking up the Cretan Osseo state semifinal in 2001. And Osseo was really good, and they beat him 88-82. But Cretan had Sweeney, Steve Sir, who was a great shooter, and Mauer, three guards. And in the first half, they made 12 threes, and they
Wow.
were leading by 10. And they ended up making 17 threes and 5 non-threes for real goals. So they made seven. So I talked to Joe for a minute yesterday, and he said most fun I ever had on any team was playing for that basketball team. He said he loved it. So anyway, but yeah, and Sweeney's just one of those fruitcake basketball guys. That's speaking of. In fact, he and Ant could probably sit down and have quite an F-bomb contest. Although Sean's kind of slow to put the last time I talked to him. I don't think we got through a sentence without one or two, but yesterday I think he only dropped one in 15 minutes. So
Okay.
he's trying. He got interviewed. He's going to get interviewed for a Laker job, I guess. So that'd be something. Kid from right down off Randolph and West Seventh and St. Paul ended up being a Lakers coach.
and if that
That'd be
happens and
something.
LeBron stays, then he can go find another job in a year and a half.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
It'll be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and if they draft Bronny and he doesn't play Bronny enough, he won't make it to the All-Star game, will he?
I feel like Bronny's putting out the signals every time he's doing an interview now. He's like, I really it's tough being in my dad's shadow. I don't need to play with him. Take a hint, everyone. Take a hint, Dad.
Why doesn't Bronny go back to college like he should have? What do he average? 4 points a game or something? I mean, he didn't.
Yeah.
He had the illness, but I don't think that. Obviously, the old man wants to play with him, though. Isn't that why he's probably going to hang on for a couple of more years? I think.
Although that is cooling a little bit. But hey, if LeBron were to come out and say, I don't need to make $50 million. I will play for the veterans. I've made enough money.
Right.
I will play for the veterans minimum. Whoever drafts my son. How high would his son be drafted if LeBron was available for the veterans minimum? He wouldn't be there when the Wolves draft in the late first round.
You'd have to be a club that wants him to try to win a championship. You'd have to be a contender, right? It's not, you're not going to do it just for giggles. Although Cleveland might do it. What the heck? There's just rumors he might end up going back there again one more time, right?
Yeah. So the draft order is. I'm just trying to see the first team here that would potentially do it. Atlanta, they do it with the number 1 pick. Keep Trae Young, get LeBron, and the Wizards, the Rockets. The Rockets have the 3rd overall pick, right? An up and coming team that was fighting for a playoff spot till the final. They won like 10 games in a row at one point.
I think if you're a young team progressing, you don't want to get LeBron in there and have to focus it all around the way LeBron wants to play.
How about San Antonio with Wemby, and then you bring LeBron in? You got some free agency money. Pop?
I don't think Pop wants that. I don't think Pop wants that competition to run the team. Do you?
This sounds like a Washington Wizards PR stunt.
Yes,
That's what this sounds like.
Yeah, it could. Anything that might get some people. The Wizards and the Caps were attempting to get a new arena, right? And it got shot down very
Virginia.
much so. Yeah, they were trying to and that arena there is, I've been in it once, it's nothing special, and it's got 2 teams. So
here's a sneaky one. A sneaky one is Memphis. So you got John Morant coming back from the injury. They've got Triple J in the front court. And then they could have Bronny James sitting on the bench while LeBron signs a veteran's minimum contract. Memphis.
So Josh coming back, and he didn't play the last 25 games or something. Do you think they've hired a chaperone that would walk around and
his dad's there, Pat. What more could you want? A father being there for every game.
Walk around and say, John, this would be a bad decision right now. This would be a bad decision.
Leave that at home, John.
You know, so Chris Carter said everyone needs a fall guy, right?
Yeah.
John Morant needs a gun guy. This is not the time. Yeah. Not the time to pull out your gun. No. We're live on Instagram right now. Let's not pull out the gun.
Okay. Right. Yeah. What a league, though, man. When it's quite a league when Ant can't be the goofiest guy in it, right? He's close, but he's not. But hey, did you hear that? Did you see that little video of our combative state legislator when they all hate each other on the last night of the session and they're all screaming and hollering and they announced the Wolves have won and everybody applauds. The only thing they could agree on is they were happy that the Wolves won. So
yeah, the only thing we can agree on is Wolves in 7. Oh yes, okay, that is bipartisan.
What is I think everybody this favorites role when you got Kyrie and Luka in the other team. I really think a lot of it depends upon if they let you defend Luka or not, right? If they let McDaniels defend Luka, the Timberwolves win. If they call quick fouls on McDaniels, then it's going to be a battle the whole way, I think. And Kyrie he's fantastic when he's interested. And,
he's a better version of what you saw in Jamal Murray at his best.
Yeah,
he's just hitting crazy shots and
Well, he can get by you easier than Jamal Murray did. Murray needs help to get by you, and to some degree, but Kyrie can get by you. He can get by you with the best of them. He just chooses not to play half the season or 2/3 of the season. But now he's well rested and ready to roll.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. It's I think the Wolves are the favorites at this point to get through, but we're all sort of in uncharted territory, and the Mavericks have 2 first ballot Hall of Famers and one of the top 3 players in the world. So, but Anthony Edwards has climbed the first 2 mountains against Durant and Booker and Jokic, and he's upped his game. So it's gonna be fun.
Here's the other thing. If indeed they end up getting bounced in 6 or 7, everybody say, same old man. It hasn't been the same old. Okay. This series was not the same old. But this series has nothing in common with the Sacramento 7-gamer, because that was 2 really good teams and close games and very competitive, close basketball. We've never had anything like this where there's 5 blowouts in 7 games, and yet you're saying, what a series. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And also that Kings team was definitely on the back end of its run from the 99. But this Nuggets team was better than that Kings team relative to the league at the time. That Kings team was good, but they weren't like a real championship contender the way that this Nuggets team is. So I think it's the biggest series win, the biggest moment in Wolves history.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, Game 7 was the greatest moment in Wolves history, but Game 6 was the what in the hell happened moment in history. But not for them, for everybody in this town. It's the 48 minutes of the Minneapolis Miracle, which was 10 seconds. This is 48 minutes of what is going on here. It was incredible.
And Pat, as we discussed on Monday as well, this is a real playoff run. So that's the thing too, is you've now made a playoff run.
Yes.
It's not just a series.
Judd and I decided you have to get through the second round before it's a run. Yeah. It's if you get beat in the second round, it's not a run. Okay. So that's the official position of Unchained, that you got to.
It is a run. Now it's a run.
Now it's a run. It is a run. It's a run to be remembered no matter what happens.
That's fair. All right. Okay. Well, Pat, we'll talk to you a couple more times this week.
We got to get our work done here so we can watch the Twins this afternoon again. That's going to be pretty exciting. God almighty. The manager's mad. The pitcher, the closer's mad. The Oh, wait, that's what I wanted to mention. We had a players only meeting. This is our second, right? Didn't we have
Yes.
Didn't we have one during the start too there, Declan?
I don't remember if we had one during the start. They had the 10-minute one yesterday. I don't know if they've had a closed door one before.
Players only meeting. I love those.
One of the best.
Those.
I love pissed off Rocco though.
Oh God, yeah, it was a little different. Yeah, Rocco's not pissed off at his team. He's pissed off at somebody taking a shot at his pitching coach. Let's worry about the big things, hitting and pitching. How about those? And the fielding isn't very good either. So they only have 3 issues: pitching, hitting, and fielding. Those are the only have 3 issues. So.
Hopefully Reusse Lewis can solve it all when he comes back.
Oh, yeah, Reusse. Yeah, Reusse. And when he comes back, and those 48 hours are going to be fun, man, when he comes back. See you later.
All right, see you, Pat. Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold.